to the RunnerX podcast, where we talk about all things running. As many runners know, it's 90% mental. So join Coach Valerie and Coach Caroline as we go through the mental side of running.
Welcome back to the RunnerX podcast. I'm your host, Coach Caroline, and I'm here with Coach Valerie. Coach, I always see this ad when I watch regular TV. I don't watch a lot of regular TV, but when I do, it's this ad about running, and it's these big, they're called like O shoes, where it looks like it's like a bunch of spring underneath it. It's like not a full like section of shoe. It's almost like it's just really weird. It's called OU or own or something like that. Anyway, it makes you want to run, but I'll tell you, everybody is like stick thin and they're running uphill, and I'm thinking that's crazy. But let's talk about basically gel in your shoes and what's the latest thing coming right now with knee replacement surgery and all the other stuff that's out there.
Okay. Well, this is a great conversation because I have been around the cushioned shoes and the uncushioned shoes for so long. So when I first got into running, and I'm sure Caroline, you as well, there was no such thing really as a different shoe. It was just maybe the brands were different, but the running shoes were all pretty much the same as far as like I don't know what you want to call it, the bottom of the shoe. And most of them, by the way, back then were like a harder shoe, if you can remember, like a hard shoe. Motion control was the big thing. And they usually had a thicker heel and then less, they were a little higher. And what happened is then there came this, and I mean, by the way, most people were wearing those and they were fine, right? And we see like the old shoes were just more minimalist because that was how shoes were made then. So then running started to get more and more popular. And this is what the shoe companies do, by the way, is when they go to make a shoe, they test the force of how much the shoe can handle before it kind of breaks, because that's how they sell the shoe, right? When you're running on it and you hit you're hitting the shoe in a sense and hitting the road, they want to test how much can that cushion or sole hold. Well, the reality is that's what they do. So then they started saying the running injuries, as soon as the running boom started, which it kind of started in the mid 70s with the Jim Fixx book, when that running boom started, the first thing that happened was running injuries and mainly shin splints. Because all of a sudden you had people just like now, if you've never run before, you're not just good at it, right? So people just were like, I'm running. And they started running, and then they went to the doctor, doc, my shin hurts or my heel hurts. So the answer from the shoe companies was thicker shoes. So we've now had thicker shoes for almost 30 years. And they just keep getting thicker and thicker and thicker. I mean, it's insane, the amount of thickness we see in the shoes. And the running injuries are the same. We're still seeing the same injuries. So at some point, you have to say to yourself, it's me. And by the way, I did the same thing when I first started running. They told me I pronated. I should buy these pronation avoiding shoes. And it didn't do anything for me. And it wasn't until I learned good movement that I actually was like, oh, I don't need to have shin splints or plantar fasciitis. I was just really moving incorrectly. And also, I say this a lot, but when I first started working with runners, I had a physical therapist, and she said to me, just so you know, everybody I meet, their feet are made out of pudding. And that's not a positive. Your feet should be the strong foundation of your body, just like the foundation of your house. You're not building your house on pudding, I don't think, right? You want stable support. So the reality is that your joints, your foot, your body needs stable support. Strength needs stable support. Does that mean you can never run like on sand? No, of course not. But what I'm saying is that if you think the answer is to make the shoe cushiony, over cushiony, there needs to be a little bit of protection between your foot and the ground, and 100%. And I very much, you got to find a shoe that feels good for you. But the reality is the shoe is only protecting you from the ground itself, not from the impact. And this is important. They have found over and over that no matter how much the cushioning is in the shoe, the body is still absorbing the same amount of impact. So this is important because you're not feeling it when you hit the ground really hard. And that's what those shoes have been doing. They're like, we're going to make it so you can't feel that impact. So you feel like you're running on clouds. And then people are actually hitting the ground harder because they can't feel it. So then they're just hitting it. And it's amazing. And what's interesting, by the way, with the super shoe, now there's like laws of how super the shoe can be.
No, really.
And yeah, and by the way, for two reasons. One, for sport, because the elite runners were getting like 4 to 5% faster. The non-elite, the recreational runners, were all getting injured. Major calf injuries, plantar injuries, because the heel lift, it pushes the foot forward. So again, it's not a neutral shoe. And this is important because when people aren't running, what shoes are you wearing? Unless you're at work and ladies wearing high heels, most people want to wear something comfortable where their foot can spread out and they can feel, right? So the reality is your foot needs a stable support. And as you get older, because now I'm in my 50s, um, I'm experiencing a lot of people getting replacements, knee replacements, hip replacements, unfortunately, a lot of replacements. And it's the
Yeah.
wear and tear, right? It's wear and tear on the joint. And as you age, wear and tear on the joint. And generally, what happens is if you're not moving well, if you're not moving correctly, you're wearing and tearing your joints. And then what are you actually doing for the joints? If I'm wearing my cushion shoe, in my mind, I think I'm protected, got my cushion shoes on. So maybe I'm not protecting my joints as I should, and I'm still running with really not very good form. Maybe I'm not working on my strength and mobility. So those joints are still getting that same wear and tear. And that's just your reality. And also, guys, there's genetics and heredity. And like my dad, I'm going to just say 84 years old. And I can tell you, he's always been active. He does exercise. Does he do stretching and mobility? No. Did he? No. Well, now he's got arthritis, and I'm still making him go to the gym. So is his doctor, by the way. And the
Yeah.
doctor said, we're not going to do a replacement on you. We're going to put this gel. He got a gel shot, 3 of them in his knee. And it's the same gel that's naturally in your joint. They're using the same gel, what it's called gel, but it's really a fluid that is naturally occurring in the joint. So what they're doing is they're just reinforcing, putting more of that fluid in, and they're doing it as a gel so it'll hold. And of course, over time, it probably will dissolve and you'll need another shot. However, the idea is let's quit replacing joints. Let's just help them move better. Because the idea is now he's got this gel on. Now he can go back to doing more activity like he wanted to do. And he walks, and now he does aqua therapy. He rides his bike, So the idea is let's keep moving. However, I
Right.
guarantee you, because I am 54, I'm 30 years younger, and I'm already feeling my age more than I used to have to warm up. I have to do things, but I run, I'm still running barefoot, I'm still wearing my minimalist shoes. So I'm here, but my point is to help people know that the shoe itself isn't what's protecting you. It's your movement that's going to protect you and what you do to sustain your movement. And that includes strength training, that includes mobility work, and it's got to be consistent.
Absolutely. So if I did have some, like I had to have my knee scraped many years ago, because of a just wear and tear, like you said.
Mhm.
But what you're saying now is that maybe to look for, instead of if your doctor says, oh, you need a complete knee replacement, maybe even look at something that's less intrusive and doing something, maybe looking into some of this new technology that could help you keep moving while your body's breaking down, but keep it from breaking down without the
Right. And
full.
correct. And by the way, this is important because most people that do, and we have someone in our group that had a hip replacement.
Yeah.
And by the way, as soon as he started, and he'll talk. I mean, we don't not gonna have him on, but he's moving so much better. And I think now he would say, who knows? I don't know the exact reason why he had the replacement, but the work he's put in since, who knows if he would have put that much work in before. See, that's the challenge. I follow an orthopedic surgeon. He's amazing. He says 95% of the people that are getting these surgeries, and it's not just hip and knee replacements. I'm talking about just orthopedic work. He said their rehab is actually what heals them. And the challenge is, how do you prescribe rehab to someone that hasn't had surgery or hasn't
Right.
yet felt their knees? See what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now it's kind of called prehab. However, most people, and everybody's like this. No one calls me, no one signs up to run RX until they're like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hurt,
Exactly.
right? And then I'm like, well, how much prehab have you done? None. So
Right.
that's really the conversation is like, it's not, there's no, I have nothing against surgeons or anything. There's so much out there. You definitely should get involved for your body and yourself. It's just the reality of what are you doing right now as a prevention? And if you have had surgery, what are you doing to consistently keep your rehab? Like a good friend of mine had knee surgery, knee replacement, and the amount they've got her in physical therapy 3 to 5 hours a week. And in my head, I'm like, if she'd have done 3 to 5 hours a week of prehab, she may not have needed the knee. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we'll never
Absolutely.
know. But the reality is the work she's done since is is what's keeping. And now she said to me, "Oh, you're right, Val. I should have maybe done some. It's like she's getting the same workouts or the same exercises that I gave her years ago. You know, the glute bridges and these
Right.
things that seem so dinky. Oh, it's just glute bridges. Oh, it's just glute walks. Oh, it's just leg circles. These are really necessary. It's amazing how I laugh because I'm like, the old fashioned fire hydrants, guys, are still an amazing exercise. Like, it's not, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, some of these exercises we did in PE class are still really good. So, anyway, my point is prevention is key, prehab is key. If you do have to get a replacement, see if you can get another option first. But, guys, first of all, if you do have a twinge, something's starting to hurt or bother you, let us know. Let us help you. Let us get you
Absolutely.
rolling back to
And if
health.
Right. And if you want to join us, go to your app store on Google or on Apple and look for RunRx Academy, or you can just go out to the web and search for RunRx.fit. You can also find us on the socials. We do have a pretty active YouTube channel. Just RunRx. You'll see her there doing some deep dives. If you have any questions, leave a comment and we'll get back to you on something that maybe might be bugging you or maybe you want some more information on. We would love to help you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the RunRx podcast. If you'd like to know more, join us at www.runrx.fit. And if you have additional questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, email us at support@runrx.fit.